My name is Big Orange. As you can see, I'm an orange cat. I'm just an ordinary cute little cat without rebirth, without a system, and without any special abilities. Although I have nothing, fortunately I have a happy home and an owner who loves me. However, my owner's husband, who seems to dislike me very much, always torments me in various ways, so I began to fight with him with wits and courage. Later, I chose to leave and decided to set each other free. Why did I choose to leave? Because I, Big Orange, am sick. .01 My name is Big Orange. I used to have a happy home. Now this home is on the verge of falling apart. I listened carefully to the heart-wrenching quarrels outside. This was already the 5th time my parents had quarreled this month. What was different this time was that their quarrel was because of me. Usually I would run over and stick to Mom, covering her ears to isolate her from those annoying shouts. However, this time I could do nothing because blood was gushing out of my paw at this moment, and Mom mustn't see this. She's most afraid of me getting hurt whenever I'm injured. She can't stop crying. I can't bear to see her cry, not even a little bit. Mom ignored Dad's hysteria and found me in an inconspicuous corner, patiently dressing my wound. Dad grabbed Mom's arm and said pitifully, I'm also hurt. Why do you only have eyes for that little brat? Mom shook off Dad's hand and said word by word, I'll ask you one last time, who on earth broke the glass bottle? A flash of panic appeared in Dad's eyes, and he stammered, I've already said it was this little brat who broke it. Hearing this, I jumped up immediately. You're lying, Mom. Don't listen to his lies. It was clearly you who dropped it and tried to frame me. I threw a series of punches at the air and hissed at him. Although he couldn't understand what I was saying, he should know that I was scolding him very harshly. In the past, when you bullied me, I kept silent and took it all. But today I don't want to endure it anymore. I noticed a burning gaze and looked up. It turned out that Mom was looking at me. I immediately put away my fierce posture, opened my big watery eyes, and looked harmless at her. I squeezed my voice and meowed, Mom, you must seek justice for me. Mom picked me up and stroked my fur soothingly. No, it definitely wasn't Big Orange who did it. Big Orange is the smartest. Even if he broke something, he wouldn't hurt himself. Besides, he has never broken a glass bottle before, Dad said in disbelief. Aeon, would you rather believe this little brat than me? His eyes were red as he knelt on the ground, just like the scattered glass fragments on the ground. They didn't need to be touched. A gust of wind could blow them away. Dad seemed to be falling apart, but Mom remained unmoved. Since you found out that I was pregnant, you've started targeting Big Orange in various ways. It was just small things before, but now you finally can't hold it back and want to take action, right? Yes, they once had a child. Unfortunately, Mom gave up this child and aborted it without telling anyone. The child came at a bad time. Dad was laid off at that time, and Mom took on the burden of supporting the family alone. Mom was sadder than anyone else about losing this child. I often saw her crying secretly in the toilet in the middle of the night. Later, somehow Dad found out about this. He sternly questioned Mom why she made the decision on her own. After all, he was also the father of the child. Mom cried and told Dad that she didn't dare to have this child and couldn't have it either, but Dad didn't buy it. That little brat costs so much money every month. Why don't you think it's a burden? It was like a boomerang stabbing my heart, making me shiver involuntarily. So all the quarrels and difficulties these days had a trace. He was right. I'm sick, and Mom has to spend a lot of money taking me to the doctor every month. I don't know what that money means to humans. I only know that it should be enough to buy a lot of small fish. I'm like a bottomless pit. No matter how much love and money Mom spends, she can never fill this hole. In the end, we can only end up with losing both the cat and the money. Our ending can only be separation. I'm too greedy. I clearly know that we're destined to be separated, but I still long for Mom's warmth and yearn for a lot of love. I can't go on like this. If this continues, we'll only sink deeper and deeper, and the result will be that both sides are hurt. It's time for me to say goodbye, but I'm still reluctant to part. Oh God, just give me 5 more days and I'll leave her completely okay. To before leaving, I have to do something big. The result of their quarrel last night was that they agreed to meet at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Now I have to prevent this from happening. I've witnessed all the details of their love once. Dad's eyes were full of Mom. They become like this, all because of me. Since it all started with me, then let me end it on this day. I counted all the small fish I had, packed my bags, and got ready to set off. My destination was a flower shop. I picked up my small backpack, jumped onto the counter, and meowed at the shopkeeper. Shopkeeper, wrap up the biggest and most beautiful flowers for me. The shopkeeper picked me up and started petting me all over. Whose little cat are you? Do you want to come home with me? I have a lot of little cats like you at home. Do you want to come and play together? Hearing this, I pushed the shopkeeper away in fright. How can that be? I'm a little cat with an owner. I can't just go home with you casually. The shopkeeper was so enthusiastic. After I pushed her away, she immediately stuck to me again. What should I do? If this goes on, I won't be able to complete my task. Then Mom and Dad will have to get divorced. No, I have to think of a way. In desperation, I could only hiss at the shopkeeper. After sensing my unhappy mood, the shopkeeper immediately let go of me. I put my paws together and sincerely apologized. Shopkeeper, I'm sorry. I know you're a nice person, but I have important things to do, so I can't play with you. I'll repay you 100 times in the future for your kindness today. I pushed the package in front of the shopkeeper and kept circling around it. Then the shopkeeper noticed the package and opened it. She found neatly arranged small fish inside. The shopkeeper rested her chin on her hand and thought hard. Let me guess, did you come here specifically to bring me something to eat? I shook my head. The shopkeeper stared at me and asked in disbelief, could it be that you came to buy flowers? I meowed to show my affirmation. So the shopkeeper carried me to one flower shelf after another, patiently asking me what kind of flowers I wanted. When the shopkeeper walked to one of the flower shelves, I broke free from her arms and jumped down. My mom's name is Yuyan, and her favorite flower is the tulip. She once said that the tulip represents her and is the best thing in the world. Although I don't know what a tulip is, I remember its smell. It has the same sweet fragrance as Mom. I picked up the small fish and placed them solemnly in the shopkeeper's hand. "This is my favorite food. Now I give it to you. I hope you can eat well." The shopkeeper refused me and generously said that she would give me the bouquet of flowers for free. But I still left the small fish on her counter. Mom told me, "Give a plum in return for a jade." I, Big Orange, would rather starve to death than take something from others for free. But why did I give the small fish? Because Mom once said, "Mom works hard every day just to earn small fish for you." Thinking back to when I worked in the cat cafe, the boss would give me 3 small fish every day. I think the small fish must be the best thing in the world. Of course, the best thing should be given to the best person. This is the best way I can think of to repay her kindness. Everything was ready, and I set off for home. 3. I successfully got the flowers. Next, it's up to Dad. Please don't let me down. Success or failure depends on this move. I sneaked up to Dad, bit his trouser leg, hand pulled hard backward. Dad looked down impatiently and was about to pick up a broomstick. "Hey, Big Orange, don't make trouble." I dragged him to a corner with all my might and then solemnly stuffed the tulip, which I had obtained with great difficulty, into his hand. Dad held the flower in his hand and asked wearily, "What on earth do you want to do?" Alas, I hate that he's so slow. I nodded in the direction of Mom, signaling him to give the flower to her. As soon as Mom came over and saw Dad holding the flowers, she didn't say anything and turned to leave. Dad quickly came to his senses, got down on one knee. "Ayan, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Please don't divorce me, okay?" Mom couldn't help laughing. "How old are you? Still playing such childish tricks?" The next second, her mouth twitched and she burst into tears. "But you know, I'm just into this kind of thing." Dad quickly put down the things in his hand and hugged Mom patiently to comfort her. Looking at this picture of the whole family reunited, I couldn't help sighing. Alas, this family would fall apart without me. In this way, Mom didn't find out who actually bought the flowers. After all, no one would believe that a cat could buy flowers, and I wouldn't open my mouth to say that I bought them. Mom, please forgive my self-assertion, because my lifespan is really too short. I need to find a reliable person for you in my limited life to stay by your side instead of me. Of course, I know that Mom is the best person in the world. You can live well without anyone, but I'm still worried. What if you get sick or something? You're alone outside, and there's no one to take care of you. Although I don't want to admit it, Dad is undoubtedly the best choice. He's the person you loved most in your youth and the one you've from the very beginning. I believe he will definitely stay by your side forever instead of me. I just hope that by then you won't forget that I love you. Forget it. Maybe you'd better forget me, so that you won't be sad when you think of me. After all, I can't bear to see you cry the most, for after settling this matter, I fell into a deep sleep and dreamed of the day when I first met Mom again. That day was my birthday. Actually, I'm not really sure when my birthday is, but I want to set this day as my birthday because on the day I met you, I got a new life. I heard that in the human world, birthday wishes will definitely come true. So I made a wish. I, Big Orange, am willing to have a balanced diet of meat and vegetables in my life in exchange for meeting a kind-hearted God this winter. I hope she can give me a home maybe my wish was too loud, and it actually came true. I met a kind-hearted God for us stray cats. Winter is like a long nightmare. It was snowing heavily that day. I thought I couldn't survive that night. I was shivering from the cold and was about to run to warm myself up. But then I had an unexpected gain. I bumped into a clumsy human. There was a car speeding in her blind spot. I meowed, attracting her attention. She looked over and stopped. The next second, the car roared past in front of her, stirring up wind and snow. She thanked me. "Thank you, kind little cat." I was shivering all over from the cold, so she quietly took me back to her dormitory and gave me a place to stay. "Kitty, let's make a deal. When the snow stops, I'll send you back." "Okay." I gently raised my paw to show my agreement. But unexpectedly, the snow lasted for a week. By the time the snow stopped, Mom couldn't bear to part with me anymore. "Kitty, if you agree to let me be your owner, then let's shake hands." I didn't hesitate to put my paw in her hand. "No matter whether life will be hard or tiring in the future, I just want to be with you." From then on, I became the little cat to Yu Yan and was no longer a stray cat that nobody wanted. My wish was fulfilled, but Mom always had a wish that hadn't come true. Mom always talked about hoping that she wouldn't be alone this winter. I understand it's what people in the city call dating, right? "Okay, I'll make it happen for you." So I randomly grabbed a person on the street and dragged into Mom. Seeing Mom's shy look, I knew I had found the right person. But what I didn't expect was that the person I randomly grabbed on the street was actually the person Mom had a crush on for 3 years. That was the first time Dad and Mom met. They knew each other for a long time, but never broke through that layer of relationship. It wasn't until Mom said to him, "My cat can do a backflip. Do you want to come and see?" Since then, they were like on fast forward and quickly got to the stage of confirming their relationship. To Mom's surprise, I really could do a backflip because I used to work in a cat cafe. Before Mom adopted me, I had been living a vagrant life. To earn a living, I went to the cat cafe by myself. Alas, if it weren't for earning a living, which normal little cat would go to that kind of place, I'm not as good looking as others, and my meowing isn't as nice as theirs. To become the top cat there, I could only practice acrobatics hard. Others sell their bodies, but not their skills. But I sold both. Alas, life is not easy. Even a cat has to sigh. But finally, I made it through and had to people who loved me. Once I had nothing, but now I have so much love that it's almost overflowing. Before I could wait for the perfect ending like in a fairy tale, bad news came first. I got feline infectious peritonitis, and treating the disease requires a lot of money for a college student who just graduated and was penniless. This was undoubtedly a disaster. The sudden news was like a huge mountain, crushing this fragile little family. It was also from this time that the once loving parents became hostile to each other. 5 day by day passed, and before I knew it, it was my last day in this home. I packed my bags, ready to leave this home and my dear Mom. When it was time to part, I tiptoed into Mom's room, gently held her hand, and felt the temperature of her palm for the last time. I still remember when we first met, you said to me, "Kitty, if you agree to let me be your owner, then let's shake hands." That time I chose to be together. But this time it was separation. I ran out skillfully and stood there in a daze, feeling that something was wrong. Actually, I used to be very naughty and always liked to sneak out at midnight after Mom caught me. She scolded me severely and then told me a scary story. There is such a kind of creature in the world. They mostly come out at night and can catch little cats like you who run around everywhere without anyone noticing. They'll take you to a cat meat restaurant, make you into delicious cat meat, and eat you up bit by bit. ... Double quotes. This scary story had a great impact on my young heart, and after that I never dared to run out at midnight again. And now, behind me, there was a pair of eyes hidden in the darkness, staring at me closely. Mom, maybe I encountered the so-called cat traffickers. I opened my sharp claws, ready to scratch him, but the cat trafficker took the initiative. He rushed over in one step and put me in a sack. I don't know why, but as soon as I got into the sack, I fell into a deep sleep. Wait, where was he taking me? Forget it. It didn't matter. As long as he didn't sell me to a cat meat restaurant and make me into horrible cat meat, anything would be okay. The cat trafficker threw me on the ground and left. It took me a lot of effort to escape from the sack. Once I got out, there was an endless expanse of wilderness in front of me. I didn't know where this was. I only knew that it was an unknown distance away. There was still a bit of the cat trafficker's smell in the air. I lowered my head and sniffed, and I guessed most of it in my heart. Because I once got lost, Mom had developed a good habit of closing the windows before going to bed. But yesterday I escaped through the window. I was in a hurry to leave at that time and didn't think much about it. Now I understand there was only one truth, and that was that Dad quietly opened the window. When I went to Mom's room yesterday, Dad should have been awake. He quietly followed me, and then what happened just now occurred. He was telling me not to come back, that I wasn't welcome here. Maybe he had wanted to do this for a long time, but because of Mom, he didn't do it until I sneaked out this time. Well, I don't blame you. It's human nature too. Seek advantages and avoid disadvantages. It's understandable that you drove me away. I'm not your biological cat anyway, and I was planning to leave originally, but I warn you, I've entrusted Mom to you. If you dare to treat her badly, I'll let you know what darkness and cruelty are. Even if you run to the ends of the earth, I'll catch you. I followed my previous memories and walked to the place where I first met Mom, the university campus. That was my second hometown that held many beautiful memories of mine. I walked straight ahead and came across a statue. Every so often, college students would come here to worship. Presumably, it must be very efficacious. I put my palms together and prayed, Lee, Mom, you always said that you were very lucky, but you still picked up a sick cat like me. I hope that I can be the last unfortunate thing in your life. God, if you can hear me, please bless my Mom to be safe, healthy, and live a long life. If someone in our family has to get sick, please let me bear it all. 6, of course, there are old friends in my hometown. I have a good friend who's a dog. His name is Dolly. Dolly is a dog with well-developed limbs but a simple mind. But he's not exactly an ordinary dog, because he told me that he was actually a cat in his last life. No one believed him and thought he was A crazy dog that could speak the cat language the dogs in the dog world said. He can actually speak the cat language in a contemptuous tone. The cats in the cat world said he can actually speak the cat language in a frightened tone, so he was despised by the dog world and not accepted by the cat world. But because he could speak the cat language, there was no obstacle in our communication, so we became each other's only friends. When Dolly saw me, he rubbed his eyes in disbelief several times. After confirming that it was really me, he said in the cat language, "Big Orange, didn't you say that you went to the city to live a good life? Why are you back?" I held back my temper and said impatiently, "Whoever asks this question will die." Dolly immediately shut up. Then he said again, as if he couldn't help it, "Big Orange, are you lost? No, you're so smart. You surely remember the way home. Why don't you go back?" I fell silent. It's not that I don't want to go back, but that I can't. I clumsily and deliberately changed the topic. "Let's not talk about this for now. What about you? What are you busy with every day?" A proud look appeared on Dolly's face. "Am busy with a big thing, ... double quotes. 7. Dolly just wouldn't say what he was doing. Humph. If he didn't want to say it, then I didn't want to know either. I also had my own things to do. I was busy looking for food. Although I didn't have much time left, life had to go on. It wasn't difficult to find food on campus. The people in the cat gang would always randomly put out cat food and dog food in different places. Thanks to them, our lives were not so difficult. Maybe I came too late. It took me a long time to find enough food to be barely full today. By the time I was full and had drunk enough, it was already the middle of the night. Just as I was about to sleep on the ground, I heard some rustling sounds. I just turned over, pretended not to hear it, and continued to sleep. But the sound kept nagging in my ear. I got angry. I used to be the bully on campus. Whoever dared to mess with me was asking for trouble, I growled at the source of the sound. If the tiger doesn't show its power, do you think I'm a sick cat? I went over and unexpectedly saw such a scene. A boy was pulling a girl, trying to do something improper. I first let out a howl towards the sky. It was a deterrent and also a signal. Then I rushed over and bit the man's leg. The man cried out in pain and took out a dagger from his pocket, ready to stab me. I dodged this stab, but I didn't expect that he had another trick up his sleeve. He had 2 daggers in his hands, with both daggers attacking at the same time. Even the most agile cat in the world would have to admit defeat. Under his fierce attack, I was forced to retreat step by step. I might lose my life here today, but I was going to die anyway. Whether it's early or late, it doesn't really matter. There's actually nothing to regret. The only person I'm worried about in my heart is Mom. If you knew about my death, would you be angry with me? But I died while saving someone. Presumably, Mom, you would be proud of me. What a pity that I didn't have time to say goodbye properly. However, I probably wouldn't die. I knew that with my strength, I couldn't defeat this man. I was just buying time. Actually, I had guessed most of what Dolly had been doing these years. If nothing unexpected happened, he should be coming soon. Sure enough, the person I was waiting for, well, the dog finally came. Dolly came galloping all the way, roaring at the top of his lungs. His voice could be heard from a long distance away. That man was just a paper tiger. Before he even saw Dolly's strength, he was scared away just by hearing the roar. Dolly continued running, ready to chase after him. I held Dolly back and said, "Don't chase. He can't run away." I had just been buying time, not only to wait for Dolly, but also to give the girl time to call the police. At this time, the police car should be coming. Soon, the sirens of the police car and the ambulance played together. The murderer was caught, and the victim was sent to the hospital. We, a cat and a dog, stayed here until we saw the ambulance disappear from sight before leaving. At this time, Dolly just remembered something. Big Orange, are you okay? I hit Dolly with my paw. Okay, you think I'm okay? If you had been 1 second later, that dagger would have stabbed Emmy. Dolly still touched my head with his paw, smiling foolishly. Don't be angry, Big Orange. 0.08 after hitting and scolding, it was time to talk about something serious. I slowly opened my mouth and tried to be as tactful as possible. Are you still waiting for Uncle Chen? Dolly lowered his head, looking a bit dejected. Yes, Dad hasn't come back yet, but I believe he'll come back soon. Uncle Chen was Dolly's father. He was a security guard on campus, guarding the safety of this campus. When he was free, he liked to take Dolly to patrol around the campus. Whenever there was danger, Dolly was always the first to rush forward. Uncle Chen was injured while saving someone. The gangster slashed randomly with a knife, and Uncle Chen was hurt in the main artery due to excessive blood loss. He was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. Dolly happened to be away that day. That day I was leaving, and Dolly specially came to see me off. Dolly might not understand what first aid was. He only knew that Uncle Chen was taken away by a group of people and never came back. So he just stayed here, waiting and waiting, but never saw his father come back since Uncle Chen left. The safety of the campus still needed someone to guard. So Dolly took the initiative to take on this responsibility. He learned from his father's example and guarded this pure land. It had been a year since then. I said, "Have you ever thought about what you would do if your father never came back?" Dolly jumped up and down anxiously. "How could that be? Dad can't not come back." Dolly might not have a concept of death, or maybe he understood everything but just didn't want to face it. But anyway, I hope he can let go of everything and live well. 9 after this incident, I decided to join Dolly and become a member of the night patrol team. We took separate actions. I was responsible for following the girls and escorting them home safely, and Dolly was responsible for following the boys and urging them to go home quickly. If men could go home earlier, it would be safe for women to walk alone at night. However, we encountered a problem. The campus was so big, and there were only 2 of us as night patrols, so it was inevitable that there would be some omissions. We needed more cats and dogs to join us, so we posted recruitment notices. I was responsible for promoting it in the cat world, and Dolly was responsible for promoting it in the dog world. As soon as the news came out, the cats responded immediately. A very beautiful ragdoll cat said, "I want to join." When I was bullied in the cat cafe, it was the people in the cat gang who saved me and made me no longer be bullied by that black-hearted boss. This time, it's my turn to protect them. The British Shorthair licked its paw and said, me too. I love the people in the cat gang, and I also love everyone on this campus. I want to protect them, the little calico cat, the little tabby cat, the little Garfield cat, ... said me too. There were mostly stray cats on campus, and there were hardly any stray dogs. And most of these stray cats here were from the previous cat cafes. I was one of them too. This cat cafe was near the campus and attracted a lot of cat lovers. The cat lovers found the scars on our bodies, bravely exposed the boss's crimes, then pooled money to buy us and placed us on campus. These cat lovers later founded the cat gang, which was specifically responsible for our food, clothing, housing, and transportation, as well as saving other little cats in trouble. They were our heroes, our saviors. In the past, you protected us. Now it's our turn to protect you. 10 almost enough cat members were recruited, but we couldn't find enough dog members no matter what. So Dolly decided to just let it go anyway. He could be both a dog and a cat. In this way, our night patrol plan was launched vigorously. Oh, by the way, in order to avoid misunderstandings, our patrol activities were all carried out quietly in the dark. Only when we sensed that danger might occur would we step forward, but it still caused quite a stir. First, the heroic deeds of Dolly and me saving people were posted online, and the videos of us cats and dogs shuttling and patrolling in the night became very popular. All of a sudden, we became famous cats and dogs on the internet, and our popularity soared. The benefit of the rising popularity was that we had endless small fish to eat, and the people in the cat gang also had more money to treat sick animals. Everything was developing in a good direction until one day, when I was patrolling with my little friends, I suddenly fell to the ground without any warning. The cats were scared and huddled together. They quickly went to find Dolly for help. Dolly immediately made a decision, determined to find someone to help and then send me to the hospital. I held him back and stopped his action. Dolly, do you know what death is? Dolly's eyes were filled with tears. I don't know. I leaned close to his ear and said softly, death means being separated from your family into different worlds. But it doesn't matter. You'll understand soon. Dolly was so anxious that he almost jumped up. Stop talking. I'll take you to the hospital. I pushed him away. Dolly, I have a wish that needs your help to fulfill. I want to see Mom one last time. 11 people always say that before they die, they will think of the most beautiful things in their lives, and the scene in front of me might be the most unforgettable one in my life. Dolly, my cat. Friends, Uncle Chen, the members of the cat gang, the girl I saved, the flower shop owner, ... and my dearest Mom. This might be a dream, or it might be the memories flashing before my eyes before I die. How nice it was. All the friends I met in my life were gathered here, and the people I loved were right beside me. I had no regrets in dying. Wait, why did this dream smell like salted fish? I couldn't help but touch it with my paw. Dolly, your saliva dripped on my face. Wait, this didn't seem like a dream, because I felt the warmth of Mom's embrace and heard the cheerful shouts of everyone. It turned out that I was still alive. As soon as I opened my eyes, the scene in the dream just now appeared in front of me. Mom held me in her arms, crying softly, Big Orange, I know everything you've done for me. Why are you so silly? Nothing is more important in your life. If the money is gone, we can earn it again, but if you're gone, you're really gone. Don't do such silly things again. If you do it again, I'll punish you to be my little cat in your next life. Okay, I'll be Mom's little cat in my next life too. 12. Everyone heard that I was sick and came to see me. Dolly asked the people in the cat gang for help and then sent me to the hospital. Fortunately, the rescue was timely and I didn't die immediately. I was a frequent visitor to the hospital, and the nurse sisters in the hospital had already become good friends with me. It was also they who informed Mom when I fell ill this time. The flower shop owner heard about this and rode an electric bike to bring Mom here. The girl I saved was a student on campus. After that incident, she joined the cat gang. She also joined others to send me to the hospital when I fell ill this time. But I really didn't know how Uncle Chen showed up, so I immediately asked Dolly, "Why is Uncle Chen here too?" Dolly quickly replied, "Actually, you've been unconscious for a while. During this time, my dad was discharged from the hospital. Big Orange, you're really a lucky star. As soon as you fell ill, my dad was discharged. I really wanted to, so his mouth shut." 13. The fact that I became famous on the internet brought a lot of traffic, so I could treat my illness without worrying. I could also stay by Mom's side for a long time. After I recovered from my illness, Mom took me back to the home that we hadn't been back to for a long time. What was different was that Dad's figure was no longer in this home. I stared at Mom in confusion. Maybe Mom knew what I was thinking and patiently explained to me, "Big Orange, how about we get you a new dad? I know he threw you away. How hateful. You're so cute, Big Orange. How dare he do such a thing?" Later, I had a quarrel with him, and he confessed everything. I told him that in my heart, everything should be centered around Big Orange. He couldn't understand why I valued a pet so much. We had different ideas, so we separated. Big Orange is not an ordinary cat to me. Big Orange is my family. Family members should always be together. Tears filled my eyes. Mom, you're not an ordinary owner in my heart either. You're my mom, the person I'm willing to risk my life to protect. It doesn't matter who Dad is, as long as Mom stays by my side all the time, that's okay.